morning. I would like to begin today by acknowledging the Turrbal and Yagara peoples, traditional custodians of the land on which we gather, and pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging. I extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today, including our outstanding young leaders. Last year was the first time that I attended an awards dinner in a lenga, a traditional Indian clothing item. I was proud to represent my Indian heritage, but I didn't understand the true impact that unapologetically expressing your diversity has until a young South Asian woman excitedly told me how inspired she was to see me wearing traditional dress. It was a moment that filled me with immense joy. You may never know the impact that expressing yourself and your identity will have on the individuals around you. But interactions like these make it clear that with every action, you are making your community a safer space for the intersectional people around you, breaking down biases and actively fighting the marginalisation of us all. This year, the United Nations theme for International Women's Day is Count Her In. This is a thought-provoking and community-driven strategy, but it also allowed me to consider the need for women to first and foremost count themselves in. And it made me worry that intersectional women may be left behind in this movement, as they have been before. Intersectionality refers to the way in which different aspects of a person's identity, such as their gender identity, class, sexual orientation, ethnicity, ability, religion, or age, can expose them to overlapping forms of discrimination and marginalisation. Being a woman or gender diverse person is an intersection, but the more intersectionality a person has, the more barriers to their ability to access opportunities, and this provides a lens to better understand what can deter women leaders. My name is Priya here. I'm an Indian, French, Australian youth and gender equity advocate. I'm an advocate with the Queensland Family and Child Commission, the Development Director at UN Youth Queensland, and the Partnerships and Operations Officer at Inspire Tomorrow Education. And I'm currently studying my Bachelor of Laws. Today, I want to talk about the importance that cultural intersectionality plays in leadership for young women, because it is much more than a notion for inclusion, but a necessity. Our country is home to Australians who identify with more than 270 ancestries. So the inclusion of intersectionality in our approach to gender equity is integral. However, there is little research into the true impact of cultural diversity on women in leadership. A study by McKinsey & Company found that women represent roughly 1 in 4 executive level management roles globally, and women of colour represent just 1 in 16. According to a recent report by Plan International Australia, only 4.1% of Australia's federal parliamentarians are of a non-European background. As I'm sure you are aware, by even coming here today, there is certainly no shortage of culturally diverse women doing outstanding work and making meaningful, impactful change in our communities, as well as holding ideal leadership qualities. In fact, research by Dr. Marlene Kanga AO tells us that having diverse teams and culturally diverse female team leaders allows organisations to perform better. It increases their profitability, lowers volatility of earnings, creates better risk management, higher levels of employee satisfaction, and improves community engagement. Intersectional women, with our diversity of experience, are more likely to hold empathy in our decision making, prioritising and reflecting the needs of the community we represent. The biases that we hold that cause us to leave culturally diverse women out of the conversation are not only affecting the outcomes for these marginalised women, but they are also blinding us to these outstandingly skilled candidates for jobs, for opportunities, and for leadership roles. To combat this, we must all commit to this year's International Women's Day theme and embrace intersectional women within it. Because representation is the key to increase access to opportunities, and watching other intersectional women in leadership is vital to the encouragement of more and to the cultural shift necessary in leadership to embrace these diverse voices. So to the professionals in the room, encourage diversity wherever you see it, and use your funds and your influence to make it a reality. Train yourself and the people around you to unlearn their unconscious bias. Provide scholarships and funding to increase access to opportunities, and use your power amongst your community to change attitudes and policy to improve the lives of intersectional youth. We want and need the leaders of today and tomorrow to reflect our changing community. And to all the young people here today, your intersectionality provides you with a wealth of unique knowledge and experiences that equip your leadership with empathy and reflect the experiences of those around you. Search for opportunities, stand up for what you're passionate about, and apply for that leadership position, even if you only meet 60% of the requirements. You deserve to be heard, so remember to put yourself forward and count yourself in. Thank you.